Hey guys, it's Croswynd here. As you may have noticed, there's not exactly been a video this week, and the reason for that is I'm still working on it. I've been kind of backed up, kind of creatively blocked, I guess you could say. So it's going to be a little bit longer, probably next week when I usually release a video that the video comes out. So aside from that, since there is no video this week, I kind of want to put something out so you have something to be entertained by. I'm going to be talking a little bit about A Silent Voice and Your Name, two movies that have recently come out that I've really enjoyed, and I kind of want to compare and contrast them. Now before I begin though, be warned there's going to be spoilers. I'm going to be talking pretty heavily about what happens at the ending to both movies, the twists that there are in the movies, and all the other things that are interesting about them. So for A Silent Voice, this is a story about a bunch of kids who come together in a school and meet this newcomer who happens to be deaf. Her name is Shoko, and she has hearing aids in both of her ears. Now, of course, as children want to be, they're incredible monsters, and they're not exactly the nicest people to this new person, even though this new person is very nice to them, almost to a fault. Now, of course, eventually these kids bully Shoko, which is never a good thing, but it is incredibly hard to watch, I'll be honest. This is not a happy movie, so if you go in expecting some happy-lucky KyoAni goodness, you might be a little disappointed. Now, the thing is, it is extremely relatable because of the stuff that it covers, like the bullying, the wanting to kill yourself, the way people come together, and the impact your death can have on other people. All of it's incredibly realistic. Almost terribly realistic. Like I said, it's not a happy movie. But I really enjoyed it for several reasons. Unfortunately, it is extremely dense, and it is there are a huge cast of characters. It's honestly a little too dense. It's too much. It's too many people, too many storylines, too many things going on. It's a rough time. It feels like a lifetime going through this movie. And when it's constantly terrible things happening, I mean, obviously there's going to be cute stuff every now and then, but for the most part, it's rough on your health, especially your mental fortitude if you are going to be watching this. So, like I said, don't go in expecting happiness, though there is a sort of happy ending, so that's good. On the other hand, you have Your Name, which is sort of a happy movie, though it does have more tragic elements. And Your Name actually feels like a much cleaner, much more streamlined movie. It actually feels like it fits in a movie, whereas Your Name feels like it'd be better as a series. And I've heard a lot of talk from people on our anime and such like that have discussed that they don't like how the movie adapted everything, and I can honestly understand because it feels like there's a lot of storylines that didn't get hits that they probably wanted to, like the best friend of the main character Ishida at the beginning of the series, who comes back for a few seconds at the carnival where Ueno tries to get them together again. But anyway, back to Your Name. These two characters, a lot of what people think the movie is about love, and it is, but it's not about their relationship. These two are going to be together no matter what happens. It's just that the world wants to keep them away from each other as much as possible, so they have to fight against that and literally travel through time and space in order to stop the tragic meteor strike that destroys the entire town that Mitsuha lives in. And honestly, it can be a little bit strange. I mean, you wouldn't expect time travel and all these other elements in the show. I certainly didn't when I first went into. I mean, I expected the body switching because I love body switching, so anime like Kokoro Connect and movies like Freaky Friday, that's all jumbled up in this, and it's really, that first part, the first half, I guess you could say, is very light in that regard. And I really enjoyed that, and they're working toward coming together, and it's a tragedy, sort of. They're star-crossed lovers, and the universe is trying to keep them apart as much as possible, but they have to keep tugging on that single red thread that connects them to bring themselves together. And eventually, of course, they do. And the original timeline where Mitsuha actually dies is erased, or I guess it creates a new alternate timeline, though that other timeline still exists, because if it didn't, then Taki couldn't do anything about it. Time travel is very confusing, but suffice to say, I really enjoyed Your Name more than A Silent Voice because it all felt paced well. It was a perfect movie adaptation. I'm not sure if there's another story that it's based on. It might be, but it definitely did a better adaptation than A Silent Voice does. Now, it's not to say I don't like A Silent Voice. I really do like it. It's just, it's too much for one movie. If it was across 2 movies maybe, or better yet, a series, it probably would have been a lot better and I would have liked it a lot more. But that's basically all I have for today. So I could go on and on about these 2 movies, and I probably will in the future, but for now, that's all I'm going to talk about. So this is just something to try. I'm not exactly good at all this talking stuff, and I have to get my ideas in a line. Usually that's why I do scripts. So this improv thing is kind of an experiment. So I hope you liked this experiment, and if you want to hear me talk a little bit more about A Silent Voice and Your Name, I talk about it more in a podcast that I do for Dezu Daily. I talk with a few of my friends, Nicole and Aaron, about anime. This time we talked about video games that are based on anime, like Fire Emblem, Danganronpa, the Tales series. It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. First one was a little rough. I had a little trouble with my microphone being too loud and me being too close to the microphone. It's really good though. I enjoy it. It's very fun to do, and I hope I get to do more. So I want to let you know that you can go find it on dezudaily.com. And we also do a thing where if you pay $5 for the Patreon, you can watch it a week earlier. But don't worry, it will be released to public on YouTube, which you can find in the link that I put somewhere around here. And speaking of Dezu Daily, if you want to hear more of my thoughts on anime, I also do editorials where I talk about what you should be watching every anime season. They're a little different. You experienced a little bit if you've watched my Why You Should Be Watching RE Creators and Grimoire of Zero. Those are 2 of my articles I put into a video to advertise that site. And they're basically just why I think you should be watching, explaining a little bit about what it is about, who the characters are, why it's good enough for me to recommend it to you. So I would definitely check those out. And if you want more of my videos that are actually videos and not this improv thing, you can always go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, comment, like, share it with all your friends. And if you want to know exactly when I get a new video up, and hopefully I get the next one, the real video, up very soon, you can hit that little notification bell and it'll tell you exactly when another video is coming up. And I'd really appreciate that. Other than that, I guess I'll just leave you with the same thing I leave you with every video. Remember to enjoy the way you watch anime, because as long as you're having fun, that's all that really matters. See you next time.